What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to cover a very simple topic, and you'll know from the title, which is what is gain staging? I've been doing a lot of mentoring this last month, and a common question I get when I bring up gain staging is like, what exactly is that? So I want to give you a really quick breakdown, so no matter if you're just new to producing or an expert, you can understand exactly what gain staging is with examples. So first, I want to dive into the actual definition of it, which is right here, and I'll read it off. Gain staging is the process of managing the relative levels in each step of an audio signal flow to prevent introduction of noise and distortion, feeding the inserts, such as equalizers, compressors, with the right amount of signal, particularly in the analog realm. What does that mean? It means that you're managing the levels of your sound every step of the way in your signal flow. So signal flow would be in Ableton. You can universally, no matter what DAW you use, it'll come up the same way, but it's going to be like how you organize your effects. So in this particular chain, it's utility to compressor to saturator to another utility. The signal flow would be this is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the gain staging would be how are we affecting the loudness and the distortion, compression each step of the way. So let me play this sample for you real quick. It's a brass sample, and that's just by itself. So if we're messing with the gain, if we go to 1 here and we turn it up 2 dB, we are gain staging it up 2 dB, right? Which we can tell, it sounds louder. Now, this new signal, so whatever this is hitting before, so we can figure this out, hitting like negative 0.61, and with utility, we're clipping 1.58, so we're adding a little bit of distortion to it. So now we have a hot signal going into a compressor, and a hot signal is anything above 0 dB. So if we compress it quite heavily, we can see the new level is below the hot signal because we're compressing the signal down. Now, if we turn makeup on, it's saying all the compressed we're lowering, we're going to add back in, and it's going to be very loud. It becomes a very hot signal. But without makeup, sitting right around here. Now, I want to show you what is normally the biggest issue whenever I talk to my students in gain staging is that they're over distorting in one step or over compressing in one step and then not knowing it later. So for example, and this is a really exaggerated example, I'm going to saturate this 20 dB. I'm going to turn this down for the sake of this for your ears, but it's going to sound distorted, right? Sounds like blown out. Now, if we take that and we take a utility and turn it down, it's technically negative 12 dB, but if we turned all this off and put it back to 0, it still sounds way harsher, way more distorted than the thing that's hitting 0.67, which should technically, if we were looking just at levels, negative 13 versus 0.67, the 0.67 should be the harsher, louder thing, but that's not the case because we distorted it so much and then we just turned down the distortion, but we can't get rid of the clipping that's going into it. No matter how much we turn this down, it still sounds blown out because this part right here, especially if we turn off the compressor, we distorted it too much in this step, which is the gain staging, knowing how it works. Now, if we wanted to add the distortion, we could do that. We just need to make sure there's room for it. Now, all of a sudden, we change the input here, we gain staged it lower, to add the saturation, which is adding harmonics, although it's distorting it out, and then we can gain it down after, or we can just keep it here. That sounds a lot better than this, where it obviously is over distorted, saturated, even though our levels look lower. I hope that explains like the very simplicity of gain staging, which is just process of one thing leading into another, and how something can become too hot, even if you turn it down here and it looks green, you're still very hot in this step. So it's important to understand each step of the processing as you go, so you're not over compressing, over saturating, over distorting, and then compensating with something else that's going to turn it down. You can't get rid of that stuff once it's already in your sound. I hope that makes sense for you all. This video is quick, short, to the point, and I hope you have a great day. Peace.